Alright, hey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Today, as the title implies, we're going to be talking about the tariff situation once again. Everybody's favorite topic, can't get enough of it. But thankfully this time we actually have some good news, even if it's not the most ideal. So I'm assuming that most of you are caught up at this point, you understand what's going on, but just in case, very briefly, the United States and China are currently in a trade war. We placed 145% tariff fees on Chinese goods, and in return, China placed 125% tariff fees on US goods, which is pretty devastating for a lot of people, businesses large or small, or just consumers, you and I, a lot of us cannot pay these fees. It's left us all very worried, whether it be the hobby that we love or even just our livelihoods. Everything was going to get extremely expensive very soon if it has not already. But thankfully, over the weekend, the US and China have met and come to some sort of truce, we'll call it, and only a temporary one at that, which is very frustrating. Everything I'm about to talk about is only for the next 90 days, which is like their favorite number for some reason because the previous tariffs in all the other countries were also for 90 days when they delayed those too. But either way, for this current situation, the tariffs placed on Chinese goods are now 30% instead of 145%, and the tariffs that China placed on US goods are down to just 10%. Though I also believe the US has like a baseline 10% before the 30%. Yes, it's very confusing, but I don't think it's just 30 flat. So keep that in mind. So both sides have slashed their tariff fees significantly, which is great for everybody, businesses and consumers alike. However, there is one more piece to this that is very important for you and I, the de minimis exception, which if you don't remember what that is, it's basically just a rule where if a package is under $800, you don't have to pay custom fees. It just goes through customs, you don't worry about it. But recently, like a month ago, they took that away for just China. Every other country, if you import it, you don't have to worry about it. But of course, because we're just fighting right now, they took that away, and that really hurts us and small businesses the most. And when they made this announcement about the slashing of the tariff fees, they didn't mention this, and that's kind of why I'm delaying this video by a day, because that's very important for us. However, they did finally address this later in the night, and some of you might recall that the tariff fees are slightly different if the package or shipment is under $800. So instead of paying 120% tariff fees, you're now going to pay 54%, or a flat rate of $100. Whichever comes first, 100 is basically like the baseline. So if 54% is more than that for your package, that's what you'll pay instead. There was also a plan to increase that $100 flat fee to $200 starting in June, but that idea has been scrapped, thank fucking God. But yeah, the de minimis exception is still gone, and you might have caught on, but it's actually more expensive for the consumers or very small businesses to import these goods compared to the larger businesses that are going to be buying much more. And I have to imagine we're just caught in the crossfire. Like, I don't think our president gives a fuck about our hobby, but he certainly hates Temu and that other like clothing brand, Shein, I don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe that's not the reason, but the reality is right now, for the next few months, these businesses that are importing goods from China or they originate from China are going to have much cheaper tariff fees. And even if they push those onto you, it's not going to be nearly as much as that original 145%. All of these businesses, all of these stores, in the case of anime figures, think like Big Bad Toy Store, USA Gundam Store, the Golden Nook, I don't know, there's so many, right? Entertainment Earth. They're gonna be in a much better spot and most likely see a spike in sales, which is great. We don't want any of these stores to go down. We want them to stay in business because they're helping keep this community alive. Though that does depend if these stores actually act accordingly and make statements and make sure that they're not going to push everything onto the consumer and maybe work with you a little bit. It's gonna be a case-by-case situation, but hopefully they do the right thing to keep their customers happy. Now, if you're importing these figures or goods directly, whether it be from China or a store that marks the country of origin as China, there's still a risk. 54% or $100 is still a significant amount of money, and that's gonna add up fast. A lot of us, myself included, are still deep in the Good Smile Company global trenches, which means we either need to see further tariff fee adjustments or Good Smile Company continues to allow us to cancel some figures in the upcoming months. I could tell you right now that I currently have 11 pre-orders at the Good Smile Company global store, and that's after canceling 3 of them. So if nothing changes, at minimum, I think I'm spending at least $1,100, which I don't want to do. I don't think anybody would, but we've talked about that enough. Let's move on. So yeah, that's the current situation, though there has been a couple of updates as well. Like HobbyLink Japan has stated that a lot of their shipping services are coming back, primarily regarding like Japan Post. FedEx, I'm pretty sure, is still suspended, and while DHL has been resumed, I personally would not recommend using them. They're collecting the tariff fees. I think there's like an additional inconvenience fee as well. So screw them. Don't use them if you have the choice, though EMS on the other hand has proven to be extremely safe for a lot of people. I haven't personally bought anything since all of this happened, but there's been a lot of reports of people buying from Japanese stores, not sure about Chinese, but from like Japan, buying them, importing them, and being scot-free, not paying any additional tariff fees, which is what we want. So keep that in mind. Considering more of these postal services are coming back, like airmail, maybe surface mail, they might be safe as well. Though I don't think you would want something on a boat for an extended amount of time in case the tariff fee suddenly just increased 100%, because that's been happening. So I would say don't use surface mail for the time being. Honestly, I'm not even sure like how UPS has been handling this. I have not seen any reports from them as far as like people importing anime figures go. And I'm pretty sure the AmiAmi Surface Mail Premium is still suspended, so you can't use that right now. I do want to give a special shout out to USA Gundam Store for making a very bold statement how all of their customers are not going to have to pay any tariff fees and they are going to eat the cost completely, which I feel like, while great customer service, is a little quick to react, right? We don't know what's going to happen in a week. Things are crazy right now. Good on them for being very pro-consumer. In fact, consider this a shout out to the store. I have used them in the past. I like them. It's not just a Gunpla store. They sell anime figures as well. But I really hope this doesn't bite them in the ass, just because, again, it's been one day. We really don't know how things are going to settle. And I just want the best for all of these stores. I don't want any of them to go out of business, because that would be very depressing. But yeah, that's about it for this video, so I'm gonna go edit this now. Thank you very much for watching. Leave me a comment down below about the current situation, how you feeling about it, how you dealing with it, and I guess I'll see you in a week or so. Peace out.